The government of Kogi State has a clear-cut vision on job creation for the people of Kogi State, and this is strongly included in the thematic areas of the New Direction Blueprint agenda.
The New Direction Blueprint is the definitive document for governance in Kogi State by the administration of His Excellency Governor Yahaya Bello. The blueprint is a document which details plans by the administration for accelerated development of Kogi State in 5 key thematic areas during the lifetime of the administration. Now, these thematic areas, if you go by the SDGs, of course, there are 17 areas. Of course, the areas where countries should focus to reduce poverty, to create an inclusive life for all citizens, respect rights, and just basically for development, okay? But in Kogi State, His Excellency was interested in what I might call the quick wins. Where do we make the maximum impact within the time available to us for governance? And so the blueprint was designed in 5 key thematic areas. Those areas, which I'll mention now, are not the only area where the government is intervening. It's more like these are where we are focusing on while doing every other thing. Now, these are education, health, infrastructure and utilities, job creation, and really, when we say job creation, we mean new venture creation and youth engagement. And then, of course, we have public service and pension reforms.
The governor has a clear vision on job creation for the people of Kogi State. He included that in the thematic areas of his New Direction Blueprint. Job creation is key to the actualization of his vision for the people of Kogi State, and that is why he itemized the areas where he would want to create those jobs, apart from the public service sector.
Our agenda in creating jobs, opportunity for our unemployed youth, is to woo investors to the state, to build new firms that will boost the economic activities of the state, and most especially create jobs for the youth, as well as boosting the IGR of Kogi State. About a few months ago, Kogi State also organized training program for 2,500 youths in the state. This training program serves various skills and vocational training in farming, those who are interested in farming, catering, video production and photography, beads making, therapy, and a host of others. So it was a very successful program, supported by the presidency, because a nationwide program as well. So we increased our number, considering the high rate of unemployment in the state, and our people, especially the youth, who are willing to be engaged and make themselves useful to the society for self-reliance, and all of that.
As we speak, thousands of people have also gone through some self-development skill acquisition training to be able to develop themselves and be self-sustaining. So all of these have been able to culminate into the creation of massive jobs across the state.
I met some people discussing about the skill acquisition program, and I asked them, it's for what? They said it's for to train some people on farming, baking, and how to produce soaps. That is when I took interest of joining them.
A brother of mine told me that a program like this is going on, that I should participate, which I did. And I learned makeup. I never knew anything about makeup, not until I went for the program, and I was taught how to use my eye pencil, my eyeshadows, my lips, ombre and normal lips makeup.
I met with the job creation, and he got me the form, and I filled and I submitted it. So after then, we went for the training at Ayangba, KSQ University for 3 days, where I learned bidding. that I'm making now.
In the skills acquisition program, I learned farming, like crops, how to plant cassava, groundnuts, cocoyam, carrots, etc. The training was very interesting. They trained us on how, if you want to plant something, if the land is not fertile for what you want to plant, they train us how to convert the land to become fertile for what you want to plant. I enjoyed that part because I've never learned something like that before, so I learned from that. And secondly, they still train us how to keep your crops from insects, maybe termites, all these insects. I learned so much from them. I've started using what I learned, and from there, from what I learned, I have a piece of land which is from my uncle. I've started planting some crops on it, even started harvesting some of them. I plant cassava, groundnuts, maize, and beans. I want to say thank you to the government of Kogi State for bringing the program to Kogi State. A lot of youth have benefited from it, and like me now, I use myself as an example. I've started making use of the skills, how they taught us, and I'm progressing on the farm.
If you watch the clips of the skill acquisition program, you see the youth, especially those who are interested in farming. It was during the program we realized that most of our people are interested in agriculture, because our land is fertile, and there are business opportunity in farming business, in agricultural business, aquatic, so many crops like maize, yam, and all of that, fruits. So we have fertile land, to produce all those farm produce in the state for either commercial business or a large business for commercial, for exportation purpose. So we have that capacity and fertile land to take care of that. So the people are happy, and they have embraced this program. They are so interested in it, and they are commending His Excellency that for the first time in the history of Kogi State, no government has ever organized a training program that cover total number of youth at a time. It has not been done in the history of Kogi State. The program was successful. The next thing is to put together their business plan.
I've written a proposal to the government for funds so that I can purchase my makeup kit, because for now I can't say I'm a makeup artist. Without my kit, I am not a makeup artist. So if that should be approved, I'll be very, very happy.
They have submitted their business plan, 2,500. In fact, the number has even increased more than 3,000, because some people even have to buy the form themselves, despite the fact that the state government has provided for 2,500. So those who are still willing, have to come and participate. And with that, we are able to succeed on that area. The business plan has been submitted so far. It's scrutinized to be submitted to the CBN for the participant to access Youth Entrepreneurship Development Fund available in CBN for startups of their businesses.
The greatest catalyst for any form of advancement at all is human resource. No speedy socio-economic growth can be attained in any society without a considerably large number of its population gainfully employed in either private businesses or civic duties.
Industrial Park project is in view that is targeted to create more than 100,000 jobs, direct and indirect jobs for our youth. So all these things cannot just happen, overnight. It takes processes. So it is the processes that we have been following. I want to assure you that at this stage we have actually, achieved 90% of the processes to get that started, to establish industrial park in the state, and other hosts of investors that is presently working with Bureau of Public-Private Partnership in Kogi State.
When we came on board, we saw the environment, and we know that we actually need new hands to pilot the affair of the Internal Revenue Service of Kogi State. So we decided to move the existing staff that we met on board to head of service, and we recruited new staff. This new staff including the directors, that is the professionals, and the revenue officers, that is graduate trainees. And to a certain extent, it has really helped in job creation in Kogi State.
KBR is, it stands for Board of Internal Revenue, and it's saddled with the responsibility of generating revenue internally within the state in order to foster development and growth, and like I said earlier, create employment for the thousands of unemployed youths in the state. Okay, the BIR has given great opportunity to Kogites, basically youths, to be gainfully employed, and in doing so, they also contribute their quota to the growth and development of Kogi State, in as much as the basic reason of the board is to generate revenue for the state, but then it also gives opportunity to these youths to showcase what they have to offer. Because we have highly intellectual Kogites all over the country. If you go to agencies and ministries and departments, even private organizations around the country, you see that most people heading departments in those places are Kogites. But we've had issue of brain drain because there's nothing for them to do in Kogi State. What they do is they finish school and they run away, and most of the times they don't come back home. But this board has given opportunity to a lot of people. I, for one, I grew up in Jos. All my life I grew up in Jos. I worked in Lagos for a couple of years. I worked in Abuja, but then I'm here. It has helped me to understand the way of life of my people. It has helped me to understand the way that things are done in Kogi State. And then, most importantly, it has given me the opportunity to contribute my own little quota to the growth of the state. And it speaks for a lot of youths out there too. I believe that a lot of youths are in the same position that I am. We come from different walks of life and now work in Kogi State to develop this state, and it is a great opportunity.
The recruitment process was an idea conducted and innovated by our Honorable Governor, Alhaji Adoza Yaya Bello. The process started by an electrical, internet-based database network. First of all, where candidates were to apply and send their application through an email for them to get a notification as in based on whether they are qualified for the job or not. First of all, you apply through an email, you send it to Kogi State Board of Internal Revenue with your degrees and other necessary documents, professional qualification attached. So when the recruitment, they mention it in the recruitment process that successful candidates are going to be conducted on how and where to come when they receive their letter that they have accepted for the appointment. So what actually happened is that me as a person, I applied without knowing anybody through an email. I sent all. I just finished service like last year. So I got a message to come to write an exam at Kogi State Polytechnic, and there were a lot of crowd, and the exam was conducted well. We wrote our exam, and we were given a duration of 30 minutes, and after the exam, we submitted our script. Then they said on the day of submission that successful candidates are going to be conducted on how to come for the interview at the Kogi State Internal Revenue. So I got a message to come for the interview, and I went, and the due process was being followed. Then when you qualify for the interview, they will send you a message to come for interview. After the interview, successful candidates are to have an induction. So we had our induction at the Kogi State Government House.
Precisely, all inclusive, we've created up to 410 new jobs so far. And it includes the directors, the other managers, that is middle cadres, and the field workers like graduate trainees. Call them Revenue Officer 1 and Revenue Officer 2. And those are the cadres that we have engaged so far. And it is an ongoing thing since we are expanding. And as we expand, we bring in new hands.
We first want to express gratitude to our amiable governor, Alhaji Yaya Bello, for the vision he has for the state. It was divinely orchestrated by God, who brought him to come and turn around Kogi State. It is in line of this new direction agenda that God has given him that brought us to this board. And the board has been changed, transformed to reflect what is obtainable in any private sector in Nigeria in terms of revenue generation.
It wasn't like this before, but this government has made it possible it's a youth-oriented government. It has developed the mindset of youths, it has developed people, and I believe that it can only get better. And the board is one avenue that the government has developed youth in this state. It has created hundreds of jobs, and we can only be grateful for this government, and we believe that soon they will do more.
In a bid to build a state and society where human resource is being tapped to its optimal level, several strategies and initiatives were put in place to water down the menace of the growing level of unemployment.
As a government that is committed to ensuring security of lives and property in the state, he has been able to implement fully the Kogi State Security Trust Fund law through the establishment of the Vigilante Service. Thousands of youths have been employed to be able to provide security for the people of the state. Also in the environment sector, a good number of our youths have also been employed to provide security in the forest, to protect our natural heritage as a state.
The Kogi State Vigilante Service came into being, it was signed into law on 20th of November 2014 by then the former governor. But the present administration, that is Alhaji Yahaya Bello, was the one that implemented it. We started by going around the 21 local government and trying to recruit those who are really vigilante, because in the state they have almost 5 different groups of vigilantes. So what the governor wanted was to make sure all of them are grouped together without any party affiliation, tribal or religious affiliation. All of them should work under one umbrella, that is the Kogi State Vigilante Service. We went around the 21 local government, like I said earlier, I recruited 3,000. Though initially it was 1,005, but when I submitted the report, His Excellency deemed it necessary to increase the number from 1,005 to 3,000. Currently, we have trained 1,500 because we are expected to have 6 badges of 500 each. Each badge has 500 vigilantes. We are on the 3rd badge, and in the next few days, they will graduate. And immediately after that, a week later, we are going to have 4th batch, subsequently up to 5th and 6th, culminating up to 3,000 vigilantes.
Honestly speaking, I in person, I am so glad indeed to step into this Kogi State Vigilante. We are the 3rd batch of this service, this training, and the training was going very well. We have catch up about 496 of us right now in the parade, and we are doing a very good job headed by the controller of this noble organization.
We are very, very happy for being part of this. We thank His Excellency Alhaji Yahaya Bello for bringing this into Kogi State. Not even only in Kogi, entire local government, both old and young, to appreciate him for bringing this. Before, we don't like, we are into it before now, but we did not enjoy it like this, and we don't work the way we are working now. We thank God for bringing him, and we thank him again for bringing this job to us.
Right now, like you see, we have just completed their last exam, and it is based on that exam we assess and know how to deploy them. And of course, in everything you are doing, you must have a leader. Right now, those exams are the basis which we are going to lay on in order to pick their leaders within the vigilante, just like what the other paramilitary has. That's like inspectors, ASPs, and so on, up to the ladder of the controller.
Total 48. Score 10. 50. Absent.